Hey, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been with us before, welcome back. If you just slid by, saw the title, decided to click on, welcome. And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Now, y'all, welcome back to Key to Travel, and I am Key. I just wanted to do my little old intro, y'all. I just felt like, just bringing back the old stuff, And speaking of the old stuff, y'all, it's been a while that I done set up the camera, sat down to do a story time. Yes, y'all, we must do a story time today. But yeah, it's been a lot of things going on. So before I start my story time, I do want to give y'all a little catch up on me, a little, insight on where I've been. I know I have a couple of new subscribers on here, a couple of people that came in to see me through my lives, when we, deep dive into other stuff. Even though Key to Travel, we do everything travel over here. But when we go on live, we grab all the good stuff that people be talking about in the media and on social media and all that good stuff, and we chop it up and talk about it. So if you've never been in my live, come on by, check me out. We do a little everything over there, even though my travel is overall travel. So now that we got all that interesting stuff out of the way, if you haven't seen me in a while and you only click in for the lives, let me tell you what I've been up to. We have been to, I had my big birthday, first of all. I turned 50. Yes, might not look like it, but yes, your girl is 50. And if I do look like it, hey, yes, I am an auntie. Okay. And going into my deep dive holes. But that's what we do here at Key to Travel. And on my 50th birthday, y'all, I went ahead and went to, let me stop hitting my leg. And let me get me something to drink, because it is time for a little tea for me to spill with y'all. So y'all stay tuned and let's get to that. And we gonna get back and we gonna sit down and chit chat. Stay tuned. Been away because I turned the big 50. And yes, it is still my birthday month. Y'all see my mug? Wait, I want y'all to see it. I want y'all to see it. Get into it. It says it's my birthday month. Okay, it's still my birthday month for at least 2 or 3 more days. Okay, so yes, we celebrate as Geminis almost, not almost, the whole month. Okay, and since I got to go to one of my countries that was on my bucket list, that is Egypt. I got to see the pyramids. I got to go to Kenya and do a safari. I got to go to Doha. Yes, I enjoyed my birthday. I had a birthday party. Hopefully you watched that vlog. Yes, shout out again to everybody that sent me love on that one. And if you didn't see us on my last video that I posted, you saw that we had a little run-in with a little guy. Yes, yo. And that's what this story time today is going to be about, that guy. So shout out to you. Got a whole story time on my channel. You need to get a clap. We gonna clap, but I'm still not putting the drink down for you. Okay. Anywho, y'all, now that I done went in the rabbit hole, I done told y'all everything that has been going on. Now let's go ahead and get into this story time. All right. Hopefully y'all got y'all a drink. Y'all sat back. Y'all got comfortable, because that's what your girl is doing right now. Okay. I done kicked back, got comfortable, and ready to tell this story time. So, first I have to tell y'all, when we got to Egypt, right, when we got to my hotel, if y'all saw in the vlog, I enjoyed my view. I definitely wanted to look at the pyramids, right? I know if I were to stay in the city, there's hotels that you can get, that you can see the pyramids from a distance, right? And they were much nicer hotels, like the Four Seasons and things like that, where you can get a glimpse of Giza pyramid or other pyramids from a distance, right? I didn't want that. I wanted to be right there in the heart of Giza, right there by the pyramids, almost I could throw a rock and touch them, right? So there's several little bitty hotels around the area that you can, you know, stay in and get nice views on the rooftop of the pyramids, right? But I didn't want to have to like go upstairs to get my pictures and to view the pyramids. I wanted to wake up, open up my door, and bam, the pyramids was right there in my face, right? So there was a few nicer hotels that you could have stayed at that had where you can like get a pyramid view, but it was going to be a distorted view. Like you wasn't going to be like bam right there in your face, right? And there was also the Marriott Minna, which also sits right outside of the pyramid, right? But it's not guaranteed that you're going to get a pyramid room. And there's only like, I think 2 or 3 that has the pyramid view. But the rest of them, you have to go to the restaurant. The restaurant gives a perfect view. It's like a beautiful backdrop of the pyramids, right? And the rooftop. Again, I wanted to open up my door and bam, pyramids in my face. So I looked and looked and looked and looked and looked. And I found that hotel, right? And in the pictures, y'all, pictures are very, okay. In the pictures, they got somebody sitting in the hot tub with the back view of the pyramids. It's like, oh, it's just beautiful, right? So I'm like, oh yes, I got to get this hotel. But I was like, one website, it was like $200 a night for that hotel. I'm like, dang, I could go ahead to the Minna. Because Marriott never fails, right? And I was like, I could go ahead and pay for the Marriott and be like, you know what, let me just go to the top floor and get my pictures, right? And take away all that gotta see it outside my door type thing, right? So then I went to my other website that I go on, which is my travel agent website. And yeah, I got it for a fraction of the price, right? I think I got it for like $45 a night. I'm like, wait a minute. No, I take that back. It was $65 a night. I was like, wait a minute. It went from $2 to $65 in the same hotel. Let me check your balance. Check your balance. Check your balance. It was the same hotel. So I'm like, ooh, this got to be it, y'all. So I went ahead and booked it and everything. And when we arrived, the gentleman took us up. There's no elevators. We were on the 3rd floor. So I was like, I don't care. If my view is of the pyramids like I want it to, I don't care what floor it's on. And I got to walk up these stairs. Let me get my steps in today. Okay? So that's what I did. And we went up to the 3rd floor and he opened up the door. And when I looked in that room, I was like, I know this ain't my hotel. I know you lying. Where is my view? And I'm about to go off on the man, right? Because the front desk man is the same when they brought us up to our room, right? So I'm like, because I was like, I know they were about to do this foolishness behind this little price that they didn't cut me up. So I know they weren't going to give me my view. I'm just ready, right? I'm ready, right? I'm ready for them to tell me, you know what? Yeah, but that price right there that you paid, yeah, no, you're not getting it. So I was ready for that. That's what I was ready for. I'm not going to lie to you. So I even started before I walked in the door. So the guy went ahead and opened up the doors, moved the blinds, opened up the doors, and bang. That was my view. And when I walked out on that patio, which was really, you know, it was, okay. But the view was everything. So I forgot all about what I wanted to argue about, right? I forgot that the room wasn't what the room was supposed to be. And I didn't even care because that view gave me life, y'all. I felt it. Because I don't know if I ever told y'all when I was out there that as a kid, I always wanted to see these pyramids. But I had put it in my mind that I didn't think it was going to happen. I had put in my mind that I wasn't going to see them. But you know what? Don't put things in your mind but positivity, okay? Because once I got older, I put in my mind that I was going to see them. And that's what I did, okay? Okay, so anywho, y'all, we went ahead and loved the view. Took our pictures and loved the view, right? But something just in the air didn't smell too right? But it was okay. We went ahead and went to sleep because it was nighttime, whatever. We wanted to go out and get some dinner or whatever, but we were just tired. We had been traveling a long time. We were just tired. If you saw my video before my last video, y'all saw the travel day. And we were tired, okay? And then So the next morning when we woke up, because the smell wasn't too smelly, we looked down and there was a whole bunch of camels and camels other stuff, right? All over the ground, right? So that's why, okay? So anywho, I digress. We went ahead and we enjoyed our time, right? It wasn't about the room, right? It was about what I wanted, which was the view, right? So I didn't pay attention to the room. I enjoyed the view, right? Okay. So the next day we had a full packed day because what I wanted to do was, y'all, I wanted to check into my first hotel first, which I wanted to check into that one first to have the beautiful view for my birthday. And then the next day I wanted to go over to the Marriott Minna, right? And I wanted to enjoy the Minna restaurant and ambiance, right? And then the third day I went ahead and went to my third hotel, right? But because my second day there was jam-packed, I mean jam-packed the whole day, right? Time we got back, all we had time to do was change and get dressed to head to dinner, right, at the Now. So we really was gone all day and really didn't have time to even think about changing hotels, right? So it was what it was. So that's what we did. And then when we got in that night after the cruise, the dinner cruise, we pretty much was dead tired, went to sleep, and the next day came and we had our breakfast in front of the pyramid, and then we left. So it was what it was, right? But when we left, ahead of time, next hotel, which y'all saw, if y'all watched that last video, y'all saw us leaving, and y'all saw the whole, I told y'all the story time in the video. If y'all made it to the end of that video, I told y'all that they was scamming with the Ubers and all that stuff. Hopefully y'all saw that in the video. So once we got to our next hotel, when we got in the hotel, y'all, beautiful hotel, hopefully y'all saw it or whatever, it was the Ritz-Carlton by Marriott. So once we had checked in, everything was all good. That night we were tired, so it was like we was going to go out to dinner. There was a place that, you know, had a revolving scenery and dinner and everything across the highway from us, and we were going to get an Uber and go over there and check it out, right? But I was like, you know what, we hear the Ritz had live music downstairs. They had three restaurants in the hotel. So it's like, you know, we're just going to check out one of those restaurants, check out the live music, and head on back to our room, right? So that's what we plan on doing. So we went ahead and we decided to do Italian, right? So we go down, we have our Italian dinner or whatnot, and because the views at that one, they said was phenomenal, which it was. And if y'all watched that vlog, y'all saw the views of the outside of that restaurant, right? So when we come in from the views on that restaurant, we go ahead to head over to where the live music was, right? So at first we didn't know where exactly the live music was. We thought it was going to be in a lobby-like restaurant. So we went, sat there, kind of chilled there, and we got some coffee to, like, you know, after dinner coffee or whatever. So we did that, and we was asking the lady, like, where's the live music? And she told us, like, around the corner, round and turning and all this way to get there, right? So it was like, okay, cool. So after we finished, we headed there. When we got to the doorway of the little concert thingamajiggy, right? When we walked over there, we walked up and they had a guy standing at the door, which was the guy at the end of our last vlog. He was standing at the door. So we, like, you know, walked up or whatever. It was like, hi, hello, whatever, you know. And he was like, are y'all staying here? Where y'all staying? Where y'all staying? I looked at my husband like, oh, what? He was like, where are you staying? Obviously, we're staying here. We're here, right? And he was like, you sure you're staying here? What room are you staying in? So I'm thinking, you know, he about to write down something. You know, some places you go, some hotels you go to, they got to write down your room number in case you want to order something or whatever. So I'm like, okay, maybe it's just his delivery, right? Maybe that's just him, right? So, you know, I gave him my room number. So he looked around. And then he moved out the way for us to go in, right? I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. What was that about? You know, I'm looking at him like, what was that about? So hubby was like, man, come on here. So we went and we sat down. So we were sitting down. Hubby was actually tired, so he wasn't even like paying attention to us. So I'm still mad that the dude tried to play me, right? Like, what are you doing here? Like, what do you mean? What am I doing here? You know? So I'm angry. I'm on 10. So we sitting there. So they came around to see if we wanted hookah, if we wanted drinks or, you know, food or anything. We had just ate and we had our evening coffee. So we just wanted to listen to live music. And we was going to think about getting a drink, you know, as a nightcap to go to our room. So as we were sitting there, first of all, the guy, he was like, you know, looking like, because he was like behind us, hubby didn't see him, but like asking like, you know, they, you know, here or whatever, but still nobody had came to our table, take our order, none of that. So we had been sitting there for a good little while, right? Maybe about 20 minutes. So finally, I looked at hubby looked at me. I was like, we out. So we get up and we walk out, and as we leave, and like he's like looking like all crazy, right? The thing is, nothing is free at those places. So all you did was lose your little money and your little tip, because we out, right? So we leave. Watch karma for you, okay? So we leave, we go upstairs, we go to bed. We like, okay, maybe it wasn't meant for us to get no drink. Maybe it was meant for us to get some shut-eye. So that's what we did. So the next day, we like walked around or whatever and got ready to check out. So as we went to check out, we had to order a car because they were like, okay, you know, do y'all want to, we didn't already had our experience with Uber. That wasn't happening, okay? So it was like, okay, let's just get a car from the Ritz. And you could get several different types of cars. And we was like, okay, fine, we'll get a car. So we got the car. And as we got the car, we ordered the car, paid for the car. Well, hubby paid for the car. And we went ahead and we was having our last little drinks or whatever, right? So the butler, not the butler, the bellman had went ahead and took our ticket and everything. So he went ahead and secured our bags in the vehicle and everything like that, right? So we didn't have to do anything once we got the car. So they told us, you know, they asked us what time our flight was or whatever. And they were like, okay, the car will be ready to take y'all in about the next 20, 30 minutes. So I was like, okay, cool. So we had another drink at the bar and then it was time to leave. As we walked into the door, the bellman, you know, came to get us or whatever and escorted us to the car. So as we get in the car, right, who was our driver? Who was our driver? So the bellman, you know, they have to keep, you know, Mr. and Mrs., you know, hopefully you enjoyed your stay. You know, they got to do that extra, right? For the guests, right? So they doing all this extra or whatnot. So they make sure we got in the car, making sure our bags are correct, our bag tickets were correct. They talking to hubby or whatever. They're asking if there's anything else that we need before we leave. You know, they just trying to, you know, making sure we good. You know, hubby tipping them and everything. So they just making sure we good. So him, the driver, he's like so shocked that it's us, right? So hubby, so I'm like, so I didn't recognize him at first because I really didn't. After he got on my nerves, you know, once you get on my nerves, I don't even see you no more. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Okay? So he goes ahead and he gets in the car, whatever, and that's when on the last video, hubby asked him, was he the same guy that was at the restaurant last night? And he was like, yeah, rude behind. Okay? So then he got like quiet, shook. He didn't know how to handle it, right? He didn't know what to say, how to come back for the way he acted last night. Because he kind of figured, he thought we ain't stay there. You know what I'm saying? He thought. And he thought wrong. You gotta watch how you treat people, y'all. And, you know, I travel quite a little bit. And I notice that some places, people treat everybody accordingly. And you'll see that in my next video, right? You'll see that at the next place that we went to. Everybody treats everybody accordingly to how they treat them, right? But you still got them little ones. You still got them ones. And I'm gonna explain this to y'all. I have darker skin, right? And because of the region of the world that we were in, right? People tend to lump everybody in one bubble, right? And you need to do your research about Egypt, right? But everybody tends to put everybody in that one bubble, and they don't realize until they either see our passport, because they're like, wow, if you come from America, you know you're doing something big, right? And then you get the ones that are like, y'all can't be Americans, right? And yeah, we are Americans. And then they treat Americans a little differently, right? Than they would somebody from their region, which is sad, which is really, you know, sad. But it is what it is. And no, I'm not gonna say it is what it is. It's not what it is. But y'all, that root behind person, some people need to do their research, okay? Because people are people. And when he had to realize that we had to be determining on what your tip is when you drive me to the airport because you at work and I'm on vacation. Now, I don't know if I'll be tipped him or not. I don't know, because it ain't my business, right? But if I had to tip him, he would have got a couple of dollars. But that's all for my video tonight, y'all. I just had to give y'all that tea on why I said, oh boy, was so rude. And if you haven't seen that video, go ahead and check it out. I know it's 30 minutes of your time and of your day, but I tell you, it's 30 minutes well worth it. I rode an ATV, y'all. Me, girl. No. If y'all know, y'all know. Your girl is Carrie, okay, when it comes to riding, you know, motorbikes and motorized things and whatnot, right? And I almost rode a camel. Yeah, you heard me. I said it. And yeah, y'all need to go ahead and check out that video, like that video, put that video, get that video some love, y'all. And yeah, please do it for my birthday and wish me happy birthday if you haven't already. I really will appreciate it. But drop it down in the comments. It's all month long my birthday. So after this video, I'm gonna drop this video today, y'all. And after this video, I'm gonna go ahead and put what am I put? Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and put our next video up next week, so y'all come back and check it out. I'm gonna try to drop them on Sunday, y'all, but it might be through the week, around the week. You know how your girl do. But yeah, I'm gonna start again going live for y'all, and you know, we're gonna get some things talked about and doing some little things. But y'all go ahead and like this video, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Peace.